Impractical Jokers fans, we are finally on the road again, doing a tour. 40 cities up right now. Tons more if you don't see your city. Get them at impracticaljokerslive.com. We just added a second show in Portland, we had a third show in Boston, and a second show in St. Louis. And we also added Bangor, Maine, where I've never been. Look forward to it. This weekend, Niagara Falls on Thursday, Newark, New Jersey at Prudential Center on Friday, the 10th, Wallingford, Connecticut on the 11th. Big show at the UBS Arena, home of the New York Islanders, on March 12th. Following that, we got Green Bay, we got Milwaukee, we got Rosemont. We are also doing meet and greets. We never do them, but we're doing them online right now. What you got to do is the new season of Impractical Jokers is on at 10 p.m. every single Thursday on True TV and now on TBS. Take a picture of yourself watching it, hashtag it Jokers Watch Party, upload it to your socials, and that's it. You get tickets and a meet and greet to shows. We're getting a lot of winners, so that's the only, we don't sell them. You can't get a meet and greet. That's the only way to do it. So watch new episodes of Jokers, and I hope to see you and meet you and greet you in practicaljokerslive.com. Taste Buddies, mark your calendars. May 10th will be the first ever live streaming Taste Buds episode. You asked for it. We're doing it. You're going to be able to watch live in real time. There's going to be surprises, special guests. It's May 10th. More information to follow next week on how and when and where to get tickets. I will tell you this. It will also be live, the premiere of the footage of Joe's punishment dressed as Ronald McDonald tending bar. So there's going to be all sorts of fun stuff like that. May 10th, Taste Buddies. It's going to be one to remember.
Folks, I got live dates. I want you to come out to them. Actually, this coming weekend, I'm going down to Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and New Orleans. One show in each city. And then I'm off to South by Southwest from there. Going to be doing the I Never Promised You a Rose Garden show in all these places. Also at South by Southwest, I'll be doing my Sandwich Summit where I talk with other sandwich shop owners. A couple comics coming in to have a good time and make things funny. All that is happening over the next week. Come out and see me. After that, this month, later on, I'm going to be doing Rose Garden again in the Crane Theater in New York City on March 22nd. And then after that, I'm going out to the Midwest, Chicago. Second show just added, and a bunch of other cities out in that way. Go to joederosainfo.com for all information and ticket links. And then if you're in New York, come to Joey Rose's NYC for all your information there. Open 7 days a week. Thanks, folks.
Taste buds, they coming to the mic, talking about the food they hate, talking about the food they like. Two fools gonna fight, but only one food can be right. Taste buds, man, yeah, they coming to the
Tasties, welcome to TASTE Buds. We're back.
Have we ever called them Tasties?
Yeah, I did once, and you really liked it.
Yeah.
But then we kind of tapered off.
Tasties. That's funny. That's fun.
Tasties is good. It's good to see you. It's good to be back. I want to address right off the bat the way I'm sitting.
Yeah.
I in the last two videos...
Yeah.
I'm sitting this way because in the last two videos, and I said this to you before we started. I had arrived the last time we recorded, and people were saying, "Dude, you dropped some weight. You look good." I was like, "Thanks."
I told you that myself.
I was feeling good. Thank you. And then I saw myself in those videos. It looked like Brendan Fraser in The Whale. I mean, it was crazy. It was. I don't know what was going on.
You looked like an award winner.
An award winner.
Yeah.
Yes. My chin was the double chin was so pronounced. It was so bad. I don't know how it looks in this video. I won't know how it looks until after the fact.
You look pretty distinguished. I love that sweater you're wearing.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I love the texture of it. I like it a lot.
This one
suits you.
Thank you. It was on its way out.
And you found new life with it.
Yeah.
It was on its way out because A, you've had it too long. B, you don't like the fit or the feel. C.
There is no C.
Okay.
I at times don't like the fit. At times I like the fit.
Why was it on its way out, though? Take up too much space in the drawers?
I just was like, you know what it was? When we started doing the Joey Rose's pop-up, I was wearing the sweater a lot to go up to the stand.
I'll just check it because it might be Prince Paul. It's not Prince Paul yet.
All right, we'll get to that.
Okay.
I was wearing this a lot to go up to the stand to work on the pop-up, and it was an exciting time because we were doing that, but it was also
Are you getting rid of it because it's emotionally attached to a time period?
This is what I'm going to say.
Interesting.
Not kidding. It was such a dark period because even though we were doing this cool thing, it was lockdown.
Yeah.
It was not a happy time.
And
you know,
you have attached that to this.
I wore it so much during lockdown that I just was like, I don't know, man. I think maybe I don't like this sweater anymore.
Okay.
And then I was like, no, wait, it's an all right sweater. It's got
Yeah.
some legs still in it.
Yeah, it's nice. Now's the time too when winter's on the way out. I like it.
Yeah. But anyway,
Anywho, you caught
this
people
is-
don't
my
realize that
mom-
it's tough getting on camera every single week.
It is.
especially in 8K. And
is.
you know, people love to just nitpick.
Are we 8K?
You know? I feel like we are. I feel like we're
we're up to
forget about
10K
it.
now.
Yeah.
They got 10K at Best Buy.
No, they don't.
They got 10K at Best Buy.
that was it. Best
they're
Buy-
telling people it doesn't matter if you buy it. They're not going to have the technology for the TV. But they're
How about they still don't have it for 8K? Best Buy, if you're watching and we know that you are, what are you doing to us?
It's not Best Buy's fault.
Well, we believed in
They're
you.
not making the
But why are
TVs.
they pushing this product? Are they telling you? Are they telling you that it's Best Buy? Is a salesperson telling you that you're not going to get 8K or 10K?
I had a Best Buy. I had a Best Buy salesperson say, "Look, it's a great TV, but it's the K doesn't really. It's not relevant because you're not. They can't stream or produce media in that K yet.
Not even 8K.
TVs are out K in the Ks.
Right.
It's too much Ks.
Yeah.
But it's it's ridiculous. And
You can see every little blemish. And people are mean. People are outright mean.
I learned, and I can't remember the name of the code that was instated, but it was through the government, United States government. But when I studied telecommunications when I was in college, I actually learned that they were able to move into high def technology as early as the 60s. The government stepped in and put a pause on it, and they implemented this thing where there had to be a time period that lapsed before they were allowed to explore it fully. And
Interesting.
I remember
wonder
my
if they're
teacher
doing that with
saying to me
cancer.
once, and it was right when high def was starting to become a thing. It was
Okay.
late 90s.
Yeah.
And my teacher was like, the gloves are off now. They're like, there is this like stipulation thing is gone. So watch what happens. And he was right.
Right.
It's like, look how quickly we're jumping through the definition of picture at this point. It's insane.
Also,
4K rained down on us. I feel
Rain
like
blows down upon us.
I mean, my
Like we were
Blu-rays,
getting
I'm taking
jumped.
unwrapped Blu-rays off the shelf and replacing them with new 4Ks.
That's crazy.
It's nuts.
There's 4K Blu-rays now. There's 4K DVDs now.
4K is a form of Blu-ray, but it's 4K. You want to get this? You ready for this?
I am.
This is the sickness. I've got stuff on my shelf that's 4K transfer, and my buddy Pat Walsh, you know Patty Walsh.
Sure. Shout out
he
Patty
was like,
Walsh.
Yeah, shout out Patty Walsh. He was like, dude, I'm replacing my Criterions with the 4Ks. Do you want my old ones? And I go, what are you talking about? I have those. They're the 4K transfers. And he goes, exactly, but they're not real 4K.
Oh, okay.
Now I'm getting real 4K discs. So the
too
4K
much.
transfers, there was 2K transfers before that.
Yeah. Yeah. Then you know who they're going for? You guys only, specifically.
Yeah. I will tell you this. I got a handful of 4Ks, true 4Ks.
Yeah.
It's no joke.
I understand.
It
but
looks real good.
at what point can our eye not process the difference between 4K and 8K? Are we gonna watch 8K and be like, 4K was remember 4K? It was like we weren't. Was it a piece of shit?
I thought that when I saw a DVD.
Yeah.
But you know what's freaky? AI now, I can take your home video footage and upscale it to 4K through the AI.
For free?
Well, no, you'll probably end up paying for it.
Who's doing that? Who? What AI? Who?
There's AI
Wait,
websites.
who do you know that? Who does that? How
is
much
it,
is
I
that?
can also like AI repair audio and have your grandfather's voice AI like fill in the dead air.
Getting goosebumps, bro.
We're in a bad way, dude.
I don't like
this
it.
is not good.
I don't like it. I'm getting sent an article every day, and not just from my mother anymore.
Right.
I'm getting sent an article from friends, peers, and colleagues, and now it's populated in my feed, and I'm just getting anxiety riddled.
I mean, we got... Pimp
People
can
tune into
replace
it.
your voice with a dead grandfather. You can't fix my double chin, Pimp. I mean, all of a sudden he's Mr. fucking Wizard over here. Where were you last week?
What's the budget?
I mean, this is nuts.
AI's got to become our friend, right? No one's just saying that though. What about if you become best friends with AI?
Who's gonna
There's
marry
got to
it?
be benefits.
Somebody's marrying this thing.
Yeah,
It's
it's friends with Benny's.
About the top 10 things.
I've just never said friends with Benny's in
You're
my entire
talking
life, and I never will again. How about that? Hated it.
wait. You're talking to AI.
I have ChatGPT open and I asked it about the top 10 fast food. Like you could do anything with these.
What's
fucking-
ChatGPT?
It's an AI you just
Oh,
talk
babe, get with the prog. Get with the RAM, babe. Get with the RAM. This thing is sweeping the niche. It's basically
No.
It's basically AI out there that can have full blown conversations.
This is sick.
I already did. I put Casey Jost texted me the other day because the writers were like, write us an Impractical Jokers bit. And it tries, it does it like, but it wasn't good or anything. And then they were sending me screenshots, and we did it in hey babe, write a joke in the voice of Sal Vulcano, and we did write a joke in the voice of Joe DeRosa.
You did?
Yeah, Casey sent it to me. I'll
What's
look
the
at
joke? Tell me,
Yeah, I'll
please.
look at it, yeah.
Oh, I love it. Somebody
Do it right now. Let's see if it does the same one.
All right.
Want to do it right now, Pimpy?
Oh yeah, let's see.
Let's see if it does the same joke Casey sent me.
Oh wait, did Casey send me this?
I can't imagine he
might have
wouldn't.
been on I might have been on the text and not.
It's
Yeah.
fully just Blade Runner.
This is real bad, guys. Oh wait, we glazed over. See, we talking so much about the robots, we glazed over the human element of my double chin story.
Okay.
My mom told me at dinner that it looked fine because I saw the clip where we were sitting at dinner, and she said I look fine. She then called me later laughing and said, "Your father and I think you look like Kim Jong-un."
Did your own family did you
Yeah.
dirty like that? I saw that in the comments.
Isn't that rough? Yeah.
I never
by the way,
read
the
'em.
fans let it
I
be
never
known
read
too.
them. I don't know why I fucking read them. I have never read it in a long time. And I just was like, they really did not like your haircut.
I know.
So
there was-
opinionated on
there
a
was-
haircut.
There was a lot of opinions about the haircut. This haircut, in my opinion, is a banger.
I like it.
I think it's a banger.
It's a
I
banger.
like it's a high and tight. I love it.
V, what do you think?
I like it. I said it to you when I saw you a couple weeks ago. I was like, you
V
look
was
fresh.
one of the. Thank you.
Yeah, they came
V was one of the
down
people
on
that
that
said I looked
haircut
thin.
though. But why do people care so much about how you decide to style your hair? Why?
I think people just.
Why not watch the show, take what you need from it, and that's it? Why spit the vitriol?
I've never understood the compelling. I criticize and I complain, but I do it in my own little forum. I don't ever go to somebody else's thing
Right.
and go, this sucks about you. That's crazy.
Sebastian has a really funny joke where he's ripping into Yelp and people that run,
Yes.
and he's like, we don't go home and tattle
Yeah.
on the restaurant.
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
like, I look to my wife and I say, salmon suck, let's get the fuck out of
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
funny
That's a
joke.
great joke.
The
Yeah.
AI Joe
That's a
DeRosa
good-
joke's pretty.
Oh, actually, I want to do a joke in Sebastian's voice and see if it does that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is my joke?
Women say they want a man with good sense of humor, but let me tell you something, ladies. When I pull out my collection of fart jokes on our first date, suddenly that sense of humor isn't so sexy anymore.
That's a fail.
I mean, it's not a good joke.
It made that.
No, the
base-
jokes are not good. It gave me a hack one when he did it. It was like, what was that freaking hack joke they did before? It was literally like, oh yeah, like I went to the doctor. I told her I gotta, he told me I told him I can't stop masturbating. He's like, well, can you at least stop for now? That bullshit.
That's a stock joke.
Stock.
That's a yeah. My doctor said I have to stop masturbating. I said, why, doc? He said, because I'm trying to examine
We're in the
you.
office. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It gave me that.
It's
So
a
now it's
funny
like
stock
completely
joke, though.
suspect. Yeah.
But that's not even. I didn't even. get it.
Casey sent me a joke, a street joke he wrote today. I thought was so funny. Check this out. A store manager runs over to a security guard and says, "Officer, someone is going around the mall coming on everyone's jewelry." The security guard says, "Not on my watch." Yeah, I thought it was great. I was like, that is a great joke.
That's very funny. That's
Yeah.
very funny. Wait. So let's. Oh, this. Can I tell you the other thing my mom said to me?
I'm here for this. This is what I'm here for.
We talked about at dinner. Two major insults. Two made for my own parents. My dad came up with the Kim Jong Un.
How well do you know your parents?
I thought I did.
Okay.
Not well at all.
All right.
We're at dinner. We're talking about.
Did he laugh at his own joke?
He was laughing. I could hear him laughing in the background as she was telling it to me.
That you look like King Jong-un?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
It was very hurtful. They at dinner. We're sitting at dinner, and we were talking about. I won't name the celebrity only because I want to absolutely make sure that it doesn't in any way sound like I'm making light of this. But we were talking about a celebrity that is dealing with a certain malady. That's very unfortunate. And I said how much I admired this person because of their spirit. I was like, it's amazing. I go, you look at somebody like that, you think, oh, what a charmed life. and then they get hit with this terrible thing, and they're still out there putting their best foot forward. I was like, that's amazing. That's amazing. I go, I don't know how I would deal with something like that if it got dealt to me. And my mom goes, you wouldn't do well. And not joking.
Wow.
She was very serious. She was like, you wouldn't handle it well.
Yeah. Wow. I mean Frank.
Yeah. But I mean, just throwing bows at me, dude.
I mean, Stallone right there. Frank Stallone.
Wait. This is stuff fans sent. Well, fans and friends, I should say.
Let me ask you a question. You guys are a little younger. Do you know who Frank Stallone is?
He's the other Stallone.
Oh,
Do you know who he is?
no.
Ever heard of him?
I thought it was Jerry Stiller's name in Seinfeld.
That's Frank Costanza.
Okay.
Frank
Jesus
Stallone
Christ.
is Sylvester Stallone's brother, who resembles him, didn't have the career as him, and at one point was a singer.
All right, listen, let me give you this stuff real quick. I got some of this too. I only brought yours. Hornswoggle,
A woman you're with, she tells you, it comes out after a while, that you're about to be intimate. She tells you she has 3 boobs, like in Total Recall. Your gut instinct, is it excitement, or is it like, I don't know if I want to see the 3 boobs on one chest?
It would. It's figuring out how to not flee immediately on foot.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, I would.
There's
not
there's no excitement there for the
Zero.
extra boob.
No, zero.
Okay.
In fact, we're battling Seinfeld versus Friends today.
Yes.
Pimp reference Seinfeld. One of my favorite Friends jokes is Chandler. Monica goes. She's giving Chandler food and chicken she made. She goes, I've got 3 breasts, a leg, and a thigh. And he goes, how do you find clothes that fit?
That's great.
Yeah, it's a very funny joke. Anyway, this is from, wait, do you stick around for the boob?
What?
Do you stick around for the boob?
Part of me is curious.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I'm excited.
Oh.
I have to see. Because is it more of a good thing, or is it something you can't get past? It's a question for the ages, really.
It's something.
Is there such a thing as too much of a good thing? Also, there's got to be all new tricks.
Remember in
I don't know.
Planes,
There's
Trains,
an extra hand in there. the
Planes,
extra
Trains, and Automobiles?
Yeah.
The first 4K that I bought.
Yeah, I know the line you're gonna say right now.
Yeah. You know what I want?
You know, I went to put that on yesterday. Swear to God, I didn't watch it during the holiday season, which is like I never.
You got to get the new 4K release because it's got all this extra footage on it that's never
the
been
extra
seen.
footage I like, but I will say one thing: I want to see Planes, Trains in the way that I used to watch it.
It doesn't.
I like it not being in 4K.
When it, but let me be clear: like a movie like that in 4K,
There's only so much you could do.
it's not that it looks like weirdly new. It
Do you guys know this movie?
Yeah, of course.
It's V. Oh, there's my girl coming
yeah,
through.
It just looks like you're watching it like in the theater for the first time.
Okay.
It looks like it still has the texture and
Okay,
everything. It
gotcha.
just looks
Now, have
great.
you ever been disappointed by a 4K where you?
That one is actually the most disappointing of all the 4Ks I've bought picture-wise, but at the same time, I would never. It's a very hard movie to notice. Like,
Or it's a hard movie. You don't need 4K for that movie.
Whereas you watch Total Recall, like the footage on Mars, you're like, holy shit, this
Yeah.
looks so cool. Like, but anyway, yeah.
I think I'm
what's
gonna
the line?
stick
Does
around for the 3 boobs.
an extra set of balls and
Yeah.
another set of fingers.
Yeah.
Such a funny.
Those
joke.
aren't pillows.
That's such a funny joke.
Yeah.
You play with your balls a lot.
That's a great time to get salty. They do a great time to get salty.
Oh, they
That's
do.
really the first time ever I see a time
They
to get salty.
do. You're
Yeah.
right. Candy does it perfect.
Yeah.
All right. You play with your balls. a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
When he's selling the shower curtain rings as earrings,
Yeah.
he's like, these are filled with air. They're very light.
Yeah, dude. There's a scene, a deleted thing, on the 4K. I'm not exaggerating, dude. It is a 15-minute scene of when they meet on the plane for the first time that is completely cut from the movie.
Oh,
And it
'cause
is Candy.
The first time that we think he sees him is in the opening scene getting into a
No,
cab,
that's
taxi.
all the same. I'm just saying when they first sit down next to each other on the airplane, and Candy starts talking to him, and then Steve Martin goes, "No offense, I'm not much of a talker."
Yeah.
And Candy goes, "Last thing I want to be known as a blabbering,
Yeah,
whatever."
Sure.
He goes to that real fast in the movie.
Okay.
There is a 15-minute thing.
John Candy, you're just rambling.
Dude, he's just going
fun.
on, and he's going, what's your name, Neil? Is that Gaelic? I think it's Gaelic, right?
just like literally like offensively boring, right?
Dude, it's so funny.
Yeah.
There's a deleted scene where they get a meal on the plane.
V, do you know who John Candy is? V, please, my heart.
V, come on.
My heart.
Stop
Uncle
it.
Buck?
V, stop it.
I know John Candy.
Summer Rental, The Great Outdoors.
That made
Great
me
Indoors?
angry.
Great Outdoors. What?
That made me angry.
Yeah.
Home Alone, Uncle Buck.
Um,
Home Alone.
yeah, he's in the Home Alone at the end.
Oh, sure. He's the Kenosha Kicker. So
Yeah. He there's
Yeah,
a deleted
you know who he is? Okay.
there's a deleted
Who's Harry
scene
Crumb?
where they get a meal on the plane,
Yeah.
and John Getty starts talking about like his like meal strategy for
Stripes.
each airline, and he's describing all the different meals. He goes on that flight, I'll get the kids meal, little hot dog, Oreo cookies,
I love it.
and a juice box, very tasty. And he goes, I had a friend once. She worked in a kitchen for an airline. Lopped off the top of her finger. Dude, it just it's so
If
funny.
I could bring,
it's so much
if you ever
funny.
play
John
that
Candy.
hypothetical, like bring a one person back, dude.
Yeah.
As far as a comedian, oh my God, John Candy, dude.
It's like
Died in his early 40s, I think.
dude, he was like 41. That was
Yeah.
back when 41 looked 41.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh man, he is the fucking ultimate.
And I feel like if you step back and really look at the whole thing, we got a lot of John Candy. We got so little of like what we needed to get.
Yeah.
Like you got Uncle Buck,
One of my favorite
You got-
movies of all time.
Yeah.
I
Planes,
could
Trains.
quote it. Yeah, same as well.
And then like after that, it's like there's like John like the Great Out and I'd say Great Outdoors would be the third one.
When as a kid, I love Summer Rental, but if you watch it now, it's
It doesn't have a lot of jokes in it. I feel like, but even like I like Armed and Dangerous because I'm a fan of it from when I was a kid. But it's not a good movie.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I can name 3 jokes from that movie that I like immediately.
From Armed and Dangerous,
Yeah.
which is
Let's say somebody's lying, right? And you know they're lying. Can you shoot them?
that's a great joke. Yeah.
State your name. State your name.
My favorite Candy moment in the movie is when the girl's cat's in the tree
Yeah.
and she goes, "Please," and she's crying. "Please climb up there and get it." He goes, He'll probably come down.
Yo, when
So
I
funny.
found out he played Del Griffith in Planes, Trains, he played it so good.
He's amazing.
Like that he was annoying and endearing at the same exact time until he pushed it too much, but then he reeled you back in because he had heart in it. It was like he walked this line in his character. And when I found out, spoiler alert, when I found out that he didn't have a home,
yeah,
and there's a comedy really foremost.
I cry at the end of it every
hit
time.
me like a ton of bricks.
We just
And him piecing it together.
Yeah.
Steve Martin piecing it together.
We just did We'll See You in Hell. We just did top 5 movies that make you cry every time you watch them.
Yeah.
And we each picked 5. And honorable mention was Planes, Trains because we've talked about it so much. I was like, we can't do this one. We've already done it. So many times.
Yeah.
But we've talked at length about I cannot get through. My friend Chip once said, he goes, if you watch the end
Chip?
of that movie, his name's Chip. Yes,
Continue.
he's 50 years old.
Birth name?
Charles, birth name.
Oh, is
Yeah.
Chip short for Charles?
Yeah, I didn't know that till I met him.
Oh, that's
He's
fine.
the only Chip I've ever met.
My uncle's name is Skip. I found out like 5 years ago his real name was Vincent.
Yes, is Skip short?
Uncle Skippy. Uncle Skip.
Skip's a good name.
God bless you. I miss you.
That's
I love
a
you.
great name.
Yeah.
But he was saying, he goes, you're not a human. He goes, if you watch the end of that movie and you don't cry, you're not a human being. Like,
Yeah.
he's right. But by the way, there's stuff in the deleted footage that actually elaborates a little bit on why Steve Martin doesn't trust him that much.
Okay.
There's a scene that you see of the wife at home where she's complaining to her mother about how he's never home, Steve Martin.
Okay.
And how
lopped
she
that out.
thinks
She had
she's
no
having
character
an
development.
affair.
Okay. Yeah.
And
yeah, yeah.
so that's
There
why
was
it
a
means
lot.
so much when he
Yes.
gets home.
I'm reading about all this.
Yeah, but there's if you get that 4K, you got about, I would argue, 25 minutes of unseen
That I would buy
candy.
just for that. Any more
Yeah.
candy I can get. There's a scene in Uncle Buck where he's the neighbor, the nosy neighbor, who's played by the girl from Roseanne, wonderful actress.
Laurie Metcalf.
Laurie Metcalf,
one of the greatest.
who I saw on Broadway doing Misery with Bruce Willis.
I saw her on Broadway
She was
doing Brighton
amazing.
Beach Memoirs.
Oh, wow.
How was Misery? How was Bruce Willis in Misery?
No shade.
Right.
I mean, she like really outclassed. I felt like in a live form, she outclassed him. And he might have been. He. You might say he was like understated, but she was a lunatic. You know, that she really was like, wow.
How do
She
they
was
do
like-
the thing at the end when they fight and everything? Like, do they do that on Broadway?
It was really cool actually. It was the house was on like a Lazy Susan, like a, you know, and it would turn and as they walked into the other room. And so they had multiple houses, like, you know, the bedroom and all that stuff. But yeah,
I just
it was,
watched Misery the other night.
I love. That's one of my favorite movies, dude.
It's arguably the greatest Stephen King adaptation
Yeah.
ever. I mean, it's amazing. She
Yeah.
is Kathy Bates.
If that's on, I watch it.
She is amazing in
She's
that movie.
legitimately scary. I've seen it 100 times. I'm still scared of her. I still feel like anxious when she thinks she's when he drops the friggin' thing off and he faces it the wrong way. Dude, that's one of the scariest movie villains in a horror movie. It's a horror movie,
Yeah,
essentially, in
yeah.
a way, right? It's like a thriller, but
She's in like top.
have you seen?
No, that I've never seen.
Come on, guys, get your shit together.
But
Get your head out of fucking AI's ass and go watch something.
I need to know the
not
top.
for nothing. Holds up. You will love it. Watch it right away.
I love Stephen
You'll
King.
love it.
Dude, when
But
she
I need to know your top 5 crying movies. How are you not going to tell us?
I'll tell you. It was and like we had to name the scenes in each, but I'm going to just rattle them off.
tell you the
It
scenes.
was Grumpy Old Men, Malcolm X, Empire Strikes Back, Superman, and the fifth one was The Untouchables when Sean Connery dies.
Wow, those were not the movies I would think you would say.
I picked ones for different reasons, but the legitimate. Pat and I. I'm not kidding. On the episode, Pat and I both started crying talking about the movies.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. He talked about the Royal Tenenbaums, like when Ben Stiller says at the end of Gene Hackman, "I've had a hard year." Oh my God.
I'm sorry. Wait, before
I've
you
had
continue.
it. It's.
I want to be part of this, but Prince Paul's asking if he can come. So yes.
Yes.
I just finished up. Ken, head over to you. How long will you be there? I just want to make sure I can make it on time.
This is wild. You know, I've been listening to this guy since I was 11 years old. Wait till I tell him I got 2 copies of his album because it went out of print and I was scared I wouldn't find it. The one I had would get damaged.
Oh, my God. You love data. You just collect data.
Yeah. No, Pat started crying on the episode, talking about the end of Royal Tenenbaums, had to, at one point, turn his camera off and walk off and clean himself up. And then I started crying when
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. We appreciate them. We talk about BetterHelp a lot on this podcast. They're a big sponsor. I got to tell you, if you have never tried therapy, you were thinking about it, I think this is an accessible, really good way to try it. I used to live with anxiety, still do, but I never really realized that I didn't have to live and just deal with all the anxieties I had. And not get better with them. And when I started doing therapy, really, really changed my life. So when they came on as a sponsor, we checked it out and we really, really liked it. If you've benefited from therapy before, and you should try this too, because it's completely different. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient and flexible to fit your schedule, especially in this day and age. You don't have to make any appearances. You don't have to be on camera, actually. Just fill out a brief questionnaire. You get matched with a licensed therapist. You could switch therapists anytime at no additional charge. And I think that is a really big selling point because a lot of times when you go to therapy in person, just like anything else, you have to click with the person in order for it to be as maximize the potential of it. And it's hard. It's hard to start up regular therapy and then quit that person and find another person. This makes it way, way easier. So discover your potential with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/tastebuds today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/tastebuds. Funny joke. Yeah. All right, guys, if you're trying to do something about your overall health, and we all are, you know that there are fad diets that come and go, and maybe you were successful on some of them, and then boom, as soon as you stop them, the weight comes back. That's why you have to change your lifestyle. And Noom is not a fad. It uses psychology, not trends, to help keep your intentional, sustainable choices, and they are aligned with your weight loss goals. It's true. It's like you have to stop and you have to think. Like I have food triggers that I didn't realize, right? So I now, with using Noom, which by the way, 18 pounds, I've been using Noom and one other thing which I can't mention, but I will now not put myself in situations that lead to me falling apart. I avoid situations. It's all psychology based, all right? Noom empowers you to build more sustainable habits and behaviors, basically. The program helps you understand the science behind your eating choices and why you have cravings. Everyone's journey is different, so your daily lessons are personalized to you and your goals. And whatever your health goals are, the flexible program focuses on progress instead of perfection. Not going to beat you up if you have an off day, right? Choose your level of support from 5-minute daily check-ins to personal coaching. First-time Nooners lose an average of 15 pounds after being active in the program for 16 weeks, and 95% of customers say Noom is a good long-term solution. Stop chasing health trends and build sustainable, healthy habits with Noom's psychology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com/tastebud. That's NOOM.com/tastebud to sign up for your trial today. Check out Noom's first ever book, The Noom Mindset, a deep dive into the psychology of behavior change, available to buy now wherever books are sold.
And then I started crying when I started talking about Empire Strikes Back.
At what point?
It's when he goes, it just destroys me. Star Wars meant so much to me as a kid. And I saw Empire Strikes Back in the theater. It was the most excited I ever was to see a movie was Return of the Jedi because of how bad Empire Strikes Back fucked me up with the cliffhanger ending and everything. But I was like, seeing Han Solo in peril, like, they're going to fucking do this right now. They're going to freeze this guy, and they're like, what the fuck? And so it starts with that. And, God damn it, it's going to make me cry.
He's getting there.
It's, when Chewbacca starts throwing the stormtroopers out, and you're like, oh, my God, he loves him.
He really loves him. Chewbacca.
I am crying.
He's crying, Sal.
I am. I'm a little
Sal's
bit
texting during your crying.
At least he's texting Prince Paul. You just stepped on my emotion. I mean, I was.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. You literally have tears in your eyes.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I was like, my ADHD was going.
It's okay.
And this was over Chewbacca then, yes? I was serious.
Yeah, when Chewbacca starts throwing this, and you're like, oh my God, because up till that point, Chewbacca is just this like big, rough like dog thing. You like him, but he's not like tender. And you're like, oh my God, he loves him. And then the capper is, I love you. And he goes, I know, to Leia. And you're like, holy shit, he does love her.
Yeah.
And then the fucking dude, that ending with him still frozen, it like I couldn't even compute it as a kid. I couldn't.
Do you know?
I didn't understand. I was like, this doesn't make sense. They lost.
Do you know what viscerally shook me as a kid?
Sure.
You mentioned Superman. I want to say it's Superman 3.
Okay. Oh, when he turns evil?
No, which one is Zod?
That fucked me
which
up
one
as a
is
kid.
Zod is 3?
Zod's 2.
2. It's 2. Is that the one where he gets beat up in the diner?
Yep.
And
that fucked me up.
Threw him into the jukebox and he's bleeding and he rolls it and the guy beats the shit out of him. He beats him up later.
Yeah.
But like when
he throws the guy into the jukebox, but the guy beats him up and he just puts him down on his knees basically.
Well, before he got back at him, when I watched that,
yeah,
I was so like moved. I was like so upset.
Sal, one of my honorable mentions on the episode was Superman 2 when he comes back and he's Superman again and he goes, God damn it.
I was the best thing ever.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Are we at 30 yet?
Yeah.
Where are we?
At 30.
Okay, because I know this is Friends Seinfeld is big. I just want to,
yeah. When he goes, care to step outside, Zod? It's so awesome.
Yeah.
God damn it!
I know. Well, I feel like I got to think of a movie that I cry with now.
I cry.
I mean, like I said, I cry literally at everything.
Repeat offender. Repeat crying.
Yeah. I could give you songs immediately, but crying at a movie. I mean, I can't think of anything, but if you just read a list, I'd be like, yes, 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 yes. As a kid, I remember crying at Terms of Endearment. Kramer versus Kramer made me cry. Beaches. But these are when I'm a kid, you know, like a young kid.
Classic.
Those are some tear jerkers. I didn't
Classic
cry
tear
at
jerks.
Star Wars. Possibly Bambi. She gets lit up.
Anything
bop.
like truly heroic,
Yeah.
where you see like people come together.
Big J
It gets
cried.
me.
Remember Big J cried at fucking Ben Affleck and Bruce Willis.
Oh, and Armageddon. Yeah,
Armageddon.
that's so funny.
Yeah.
Dude, all right, we got to get to the battle. Let me
All right.
give you these gifts really quick.
I got texted the other joke in the style of Joe DeRosa. Hey, how's it going? So I was at a restaurant the other day and I ordered a steak, and the waiter asked me, how would you like your steak cooked? And I said, oh, just cook it until it's still bleeding, but it's not screaming anymore. And the waiter just looked at me like I was a psychopath. And I was like, what? That's how I like my steak. But then the waiter came back and said, I'm sorry, sir. We can't cook your steak that way. We only have medium rare or well done. And I said, well, in that case, just give me the medium rare and tell it to stop being such a wimp.
I got to tell you,
A little closer to you than the other one.
I got to tell you, it does get down me making a big deal out of nothing
Yeah.
in a restaurant thing.
Yeah.
So they at least
You
got that part, right?
And wasn't I in the doctor with the one you just said, the masturbating? The one we did the other day, they put me at the doctor too. Yeah. So I went to the doctor the other day, and he said I had a vitamin D deficiency. And I said, Doc, I'm from Staten Island. We get enough D out there. He just looked at me and said, I don't think that's the same thing. But hey, what does he know? I feel great. Did they just say I take penis?
I don't know. I don't understand what that means. But, dude, they got you Staten Island down.
Oh,
I think that's what's insulting. It's referencing personal data about you somehow.
Well, I mean, I'd imagine, right? It scours Wikipedia, you know, whatever. It scours the internet so it can collect certain pieces of information. I mean, this is bad, but everybody keep playing with it like it's nothing. It's still learning. That's what's scary. That's what's scary. It only referenced Staten Island now for Sal because it's still learning. Watch Megan, man. Megan, like, really depicts it very well.
Did you like that? I didn't get to see it.
Yeah, it was good. But it depicts, like, the evolution of
I don't need
AI.
I don't need any more anxiety.
Anyway, all right, look, we got to get to the battle. Do you want me to give you these now or next episode?
Next episode. Let's get to the battle.
Sorry, Hornswoggle. There's a T-shirt in there.
Can you
from
close
it.
that box just because my OCD? Can you kick it to the right, please? I just don't want to even see it. To the right, not forward, but now
All right.
it's right in my line of sight.
Well, don't look at it.
It's impossible. You don't understand OCD. I would just like it out of my purview, please. Just with my original ask. If you can just get it out of the... Thank you. I'm back.
Please clip that.
Now, I'm telling you
the
right
battle.
now, I think in people's opinion...
We
if
got to
you're
get
not-
salty here.
All right.
We're too calm. It's too nice. I've been crying. We got to get salty.
All right. All right.
All right?
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah. Who's going first? You go first.
You insult me first.
You go first because I need to know what your level is.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
It's time to get salty. It's time to get salty. It's time to get salty. Grow up with the shoes. Grow up.
Wow.
Yeah, you're 45 years old. You're running around like fucking
Wow.
Punky Brewster. It's enough.
Shout out Punky.
It's enough. It's enough.
Oh wow. See, I thought these were
It's enough.
hot like fire, as the kids.
It's enough. You know, shoes don't make a
Well, let me-
personality. You know what I mean?
Oh really?
Yeah, stop.
Well, I have enough to go around. Other person. Pimp, do you like him?
I love him. I love him.
V. Love him and obsessed.
Okay.
One of
Pimp's
these
wearing
guys is
yeah.
doing his own thing.
Pimp's wearing a shirt that was sewn together from two different shirts. All right, and,
I
and
will
V
say-
didn't know who John Candy was, so I don't know where you're going for your support here.
Pimp is tough to get approval from clothing wise. Because I just feel like he wears just different. I feel like he just wears different textiles.
All right.
Like his whole entire thing is just take a little of this, a little of that. This is a shirt, but I'm gonna wear it as a pants.
I know. I hear you.
Yeah.
All right, hit me back. Ready?
Yeah.
It's time to get salty. It's time to get salty. It's time to get salty.
Grow up. You just told tens of thousands of people that you cried over a goddamn Wookiee. And you cried in front of him, right? You cried in front of him over Chewbacca.
Yeah.
It's
I cried when Han Solo died in Force Awakens.
I
and
know,
Chewbacca
but you
went
cried over
crazy.
Chewbacca, and you just you told me to grow up with my shoes.
Right.
You can't tell me it's just at least fashion. You agree with it, you don't. You just said to me the irony, grow up with the shoes, when you were wiping away the tear that was still there
I didn't
from
know,
crying
I
over
didn't know emotions had an
Chewbacca.
age limit.
Okay.
I didn't know emotions had an age limit.
I mean, I don't know, crying at Chewbacca though?
Why?
Do you wear underoos?
He's a living,
still?
breathing.
You guys don't even know what underoos is. There was no laugh.
No.
Do you guys know what underoos are? Underoos were the shit, actually. If they still had underoos, I'd get them.
I know. They were great.
Yeah, you know what I love?
And
Underoos.
color forms.
Color forms, but underoos are clothes.
No, I know. But I would play with color forms.
What about
still.
freezy freakies, bro?
I don't know what that is.
What do you?
I don't know what it is.
It's the gloves that when it got cold, the things would appear on them. It was literally like you couldn't get them when you were younger. It was like a Cabbage Patch.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I remember those.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Right?
I forgot that existed until right now.
How about this? I thought of it like 3-4 years ago, and we were going on a ski trip, and with Ari and a bunch of comics, whoever, everybody was there, and I was like, let me see if these. I was gonna buy us old ones. They brought the company back, and I bought brand new Freezy Freakies for everybody.
What the hell? All right, we got to get to the battle.
Yeah.
We got Friends versus Seinfeld. I am taking Friends
Because
because Sal, per usual, goes, I have to take the easy win.
I didn't do that.
I have to take
I didn't do that at
Seinfeld.
all. As a matter of fact, you called me up and you go, babe, I got it. Frasier versus Seinfeld.
Yeah,
And I
we
said,
did
"You're
that on
gonna
the
get-
show.
You're going to
We
get
did it on the
creamed.
show last week.
You're going to get creamed.
We talked about it on the show
Yeah,
last
and we were
week.
just about to do Frasier Seinfeld, and I was like,
I know, but
I don't know, man.
when we first came up with this, it was going to be Seinfeld versus Curb.
Right, which would have been well, Friends is really a behemoth as well, though.
So last time we were on, I said I can't do Friends. I have to do Frasier. Frasier is arguably my favorite sitcom of all time. So is Seinfeld, arguably.
Sure.
But
Crack a window just for a little bit.
here's the thing. V said Friends is great. I found myself, for some reason, curious after she said that.
Friends is great.
I never watched it. I've been watching Friends for the last 2 weeks.
She's shocked that you never watch Friends now. After not knowing the last 10 references we've said.
Well,
She was
here's why.
appalled.
Here's why I didn't watch Friends. Friends came out when I was about a senior in high school. Senior year, you're not sitting home watching sitcoms.
Every girl I knew, though, it was all they watched at that time.
I
watched Friends.
and I-
Friends was big enough to it overcame.
So it was senior year. Then I went into college, and it's party time. And then I started doing stand up. It
but
was like
Seinfeld didn't wrap till 98.
Seinfeld came out when I was like
90.
a freshman in high school or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, that's
And by the way, I never watched Seinfeld when it was on. I'd seen it, but I revisited it.
you didn't watch
I never
anything
watched
until it was over.
I watched the finale because it was such a big event, and I hated it.
I enjoyed the finale.
I still don't like the finale.
I liked the finale.
And it put me off of wanting to see any more. of it.
Wow, that's crazy, bro.
And then about 7 years ago,
I was addicted.
7 years ago or so, I called, shout out Pat Walsh once again, and I said, is Seinfeld worth buying? Because it's like $50 for the whole series on Amazon today. And he was like, you're insane. Buy it right now.
Oh, my God.
And I bought it, and I watched it all the way through, and then obsessively ever since. And I was like, this is probably the greatest sitcom of all time. But
I used to deliver pizza, and I got out at 11. But if there was no orders, I could mop and clean up and get out at about 10:45. And I lived like 7 minutes from the pizzeria, and I would mop and clean. This is for syndicated Seinfeld at 11 p.m. just to get home fast enough to hit record on my VHS.
Right.
And I have my own Seinfeld VHS library. There's about 5-6 episodes per tape, and I had a marble notebook with the episodes and the guide in the notebook. That's how much I love Seinfeld.
yeah, no, I hear you. I used to do that with the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Before I owned the whole thing. But I love Seinfeld. I did the same thing with Frasier. I went back after the fact and fell in love with it. I love Frasier so much. Friends, in all seriousness, as of this moment of the recording of this podcast, Friends is not even in my top probably 10 sitcoms of all time because I am less familiar with it than the others. However, given that V piqued my curiosity, and I started to watch over the last 2 weeks, I am falling in love with it. And I feel...
Did you watch from the beginning?
Yeah. And I've gleaned enough now, because I will obsessively
Watching
watch.
sitcoms from the beginning is tough. You got to get to like season 3 of any sitcom before it.
I actually think season 3 of Friends is where it starts to get a little... I don't think that season is anywhere near as good as 1 and 2.
Oh, really? Maybe
so far. And then and it bums me out because you can start to see in season 3 that they're famous now.
Yeah.
They start to look better. It's like the thing Rob McElhenney said about when he got fat for It's Always Sunny. He's like, they just start to look better and better.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, Jennifer Aniston, like I can tell like she was in this movie by then and like whatever.
I'll tell you
so,
what I thought you were going to say, which is one of my criticisms of Seinfeld, if I'm being fair, was that if you watch the first season, like it's a tough watch. It finds its stride in like there might be an episode or a moment.
Halfway through season 2 is where Seinfeld
Cartwright,
becomes Seinfeld.
all that stuff, right? Yeah,
it's the washing machine one when they go down for the washing machine revenge.
Yeah,
and Kramer does the whole set piece with trying to pour the cement in.
Yeah.
And that might also be the nose job one.
If
season 2 is nose job.
Is that the tape machine, the phone? What's that? Answering machine one? Where they go?
That's 2 or 3. I don't remember. But yeah, that's when it. That's that whole. Yeah,
but I'll tell you what Seinfeld suffered from. I thought that it became so the most popular thing on earth that they then started. The storylines came from a place of, oh, we have a formula now, like, and then the you have to, I guess, evolve somewhere, and the characters became caricatures. It became a cartoon. The last two seasons are like a cartoon, maybe even 3 seasons. It's almost like they hired new writers, and the writers were like, "Let me write a Seinfeld episode from what I know."
The last 2 seasons have some of the best episodes, and by far the worst episodes.
Oh, it's bad.
There's
they're nowhere near like 2 through 6.
There's some bangers in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, for sure.
But overall, it's very, very.
By the way, the misses I still love. Like I'm just saying, in comparison to themselves, but Seinfeld, I mean, I'll tell you what, Seinfeld and Friends have a lot of the same traits as a sitcom. You could put it on and like it could be halfway through one and you literally watch it because it instantly grabs you.
For the last 2 weeks, I've been watching Friends at lunch, and anytime I eat lunch or dinner at home, I watch it. Anytime I'm working at home, I have it on in the background, and then I've been going to sleep to it. So I'm pretty deep into season 4 at this point.
Okay.
I've gotten through a lot. This is what I do. I get obsessed with the show.
You don't even know that you don't know about what happens in the mid to later seasons.
I know how the show ends. I've seen the finale.
Why?
Why?
That you're shocked that he doesn't know the end of the show yet.
Well, no, I know how the show ends.
A lot of stuff happens between the charactars.
Yeah,
they go through.
I know. I've watched
the opposite of Seinfeld, which made a promise and kept it.
I know that Ross and Rachel eventually break up. I know that Ross is going to get married to the English woman. I know that Rachel comes back in. I know that Chandler and Monica end up together. I know the series ends with Monica and Chandler with the babies and them leaving. And this is what I will say.
How do you know all that?
Because I've seen some of it out of sequence over the years, and I'm putting it together as I watch it.
There's a lot of tumultuous things that happen.
I know.
Yeah.
And some of it I don't know, but. Dude, this is where I'm at. I was online last night.
There's drama in there.
I was online last night looking up Phoebe's apartment. I was like, where does she live? Do we see it ever? I want to see now. I want to see what Phoebe's apartment looks like. That's weird that she doesn't live there, too. Anyway, so anyway, I will tell you this right now, and I'll say it right off the bat. As far as landing sticks go, Seinfeld doesn't hold a fucking candle as far as I'm concerned to Friends. I already know I will be sticking the landing.
Oh,
I will be crying my eyes out at the end of Friends the way I do at the end of Golden Girls.
Yeah,
when they leave that house at the end of Golden Girls, I'm like, it is devastating. And that's what the end of this will be.
I will tell you that Seinfeld lacks that kind of emotion, but that is not. They build their show, promising you will not get emotion. There will not be relationships that you have to latch onto. They will not. They said that was as advertised, and they stayed the course. And they were like,
That's not the
"This
part
is just." I don't even mean the show about nothing because it is about stuff, but it's just like they just stayed in self-contained episodes for the most part, and they stuck to their formula. It was about jokes. It was about shitty people.
But that's not what I'm talking about. I am not talking about
cry, though,
the
at the end.
emotional depth of something.
Okay.
I know I said that. I probably sound like that's what I meant. What I meant was, and this is why I can argue Friends over Seinfeld. Friends, I do think the emotional resonance of Friends carries a lot farther than the characters of Seinfeld because of the emotional depth. But it's a show that hinges on the friendship and the relationship of those characters, and it lands in a place that you feel fulfilled where what you saw with those characters. Seinfeld did not, in my opinion, in any way, shape, or form, deliver a fulfilling resolution. They become so unlikable in the last episode. They are such petty people, and they do try to do a little bullshit emotional thing.
No, they don't.
When the plane's going down, Jerry, I always wanted to. Oh, give me a fucking break.
That was just a little. That was a tease, and then they didn't do it.
It's lame.
It's a breadcrumb. Nah,
it's lame. And then
I will tell you, think of the task they have at hand. Right? You have a history of these 6 characters in their relationships, in their friendships that had an arc over all those seasons. So when you're wrapping it up, you have a lot more invested to wrap up. Seinfeld stayed a la carte. It stayed to just we're shitty people, and so you're not going to get that kind of gravity.
But here's the thing too. I don't agree that Seinfeld was about shitty people because it wasn't. It was about people being frivolous and
petty.
You know what sums it up?
Nuanced.
What sums it up? The one where Elaine gets the number, the Bizarro friends.
Sure. Feldman from across the hall.
Yeah. When she tells Jerry she can't hang out with them anymore, the way she describes their hangout.
That was later on, though.
I know, but she goes, I can't keep coming to this apartment, poring over every little stupid thing about life or whatever. That, to me, is what the show was about. It was about people that had absolute.
It's curb. But it's minutia.
But here's the thing: by the end of Seinfeld, they don't even care about each other anymore. There's a camaraderie with Seinfeld in the contest. The pinky, the pinky bet, whatever, how they do it. They're a team, and they get each other's backs, and they help each other through their problems. And they fight and whatever. They're real friends. Now, it's not emotional in the traditional sense, but they are friends. And then it gets to a point where it's just like, oh, now like he does, like he'll like throw George under the bus even.
Like I said, I thought it did unravel the last couple of seasons, but I think that what it did right and what it did for so many years was so good that it's forgivable. And I don't think those last couple of seasons are knocking its position out of first place. I think most people collectively think Seinfeld's number one, and I think that's held the test of time. Seinfeld has been off the air for 25 years at this point. 25 years. And people still are like, this is the best sitcom ever. People don't still say that about MASH. People don't still, I mean, they're old now.
They still say it about Friends?
Right, but that was kind of at the same time period. I know, that's why I think this is a good adversary.
Yeah.
But, I mean, and I'll tell you what, Friends, you can't even knock it because it did get into the zeitgeist and it did influence a lot of things. It influenced fashion. It influenced people, the way they spoke, but nothing more. You can't name a thing more. People speak in Seinfeld quotes, not even quoting Seinfeld. People use Seinfeld quotes to communicate in their regular daily dialogue.
They do that.
That's something that is. Who else has achieved that?
There were Friends things that they did with that. I remember. But also too, I'll say this about you. Want to talk about the zeitgeist? You look at the guest star list.
See that episode yet?
I don't know.
All right. Well, when you do,
so. I might have been half asleep or eating a steak.
You know what it is?
The 2 states.
I'm not absorbing every detail.
Do you guys want to guess which one had the bigger finale?
Wait, hold. Yes, I do.
What year was the
I
Friends
know
finale?
it was Seinfeld.
04?
Oh, it went 6 years past Seinfeld?
Yeah.
94 to 04.
Wow.
I know that Seinfeld
man.
had the bigger finale. The Times Square watch, it was crazy. The Seinfeld finale was insane.
I remember where I was for it. How about that? I don't remember what it was for friends.
Where were
The
you?
type of show that it was.
At my neighborhood bar. HelloFresh, HelloFresh, HelloFresh. With HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Let's talk a little bit with HelloFresh, okay? With HelloFresh, you're getting seasonal ingredients picked at peak ripeness for quality you can taste. Ingredients travel from the farm to your home in less than 7 days, so you know it's fresh. They make it easy to eat what you love. Customize select meals by swapping out proteins or sides, even adding protein to a veggie dish. And now you can upgrade for organic chicken or organic ground beef on select meals. Okay, sure. We love HelloFresh here. I mean, I got hooked on it when they sent it to me to try at first, and now I can't wait for those brown bags to hit the mail, and I get them, and I know that week I'm having something that I haven't had in a while. With the cost of groceries going up, now's the perfect time to get started with HelloFresh. It is 25% less expensive than takeout and cheaper than the grocery store. Go to HelloFresh.com/tastebuds60 and use the code tastebuds60 for 60% off plus free shipping. Again, that's HelloFresh.com/tastebuds60. Use the code tastebuds60 for 60% off plus free shipping. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.
94 to 04.
Wow.
I know that.
Friends is a
I know
big
that
one, man.
Seinfeld had the bigger finale. The Times Square watch. It was crazy. The Seinfeld finale was insane. For the
I
for the
remember
type
where I
of
was for it. How about that? I don't remember where I was for friends.
Where were
the
you?
type of show that it was.
At my neighborhood bar.
The type of show that Seinfeld was. The fact that it was as big as it was is nuts.
Yeah.
This is like it's like a niche little weird
Like just found something
Dude,
and
we
ran
gotta
with
shut
it.
that window. I am freezing.
You
my
could absolutely shut it.
balls off.
I just wanted a blast of fresh.
Here's my point, though. What I was going to say. You want to talk about Zeitgeist? Put that phone down.
I'm just
You want
checking
to
on Prince Paul, bro.
We got V on it. Let V do her job. You do yours. Right here. Right here.
Okay.
Right here. Right here.
What was I just reaching into the cookie jar?
No.
No,
I
I
didn't
know.
mean to slap you that hard. Then I started laughing
It's
because
fine,
it seemed like it was too hard.
What you did was fun.
You want to talk about the Zeitgeist, dude? Look up guest stars on Friends.
Yeah, I'm not
They
impressed.
had Brad Pitt.
I'm not impressed.
It is nuts.
I'm not
dude.
impressed. They were all A-list celebrities, and she was married to Brad Pitt, wasn't she?
Reese Witherspoon said she couldn't believe she got to go in and be on Friends. Like
I know.
Matthew Perry got to date Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
Because he's faxed her and said, we want you to be on the show.
It was fun to see those people, but what Seinfeld did is the opposite. Seinfeld broke people before they hit it. Like, I mean, literally.
Courtney Cox.
What?
Courtney Cox.
What about her?
She's episode of Seinfeld. She
Oh, sure,
plays
yeah.
the fake wife.
Yeah, absolutely. But Cox, but also Bryan Cranston, Tim Watley. You know what I mean? And the list probably
Well,
goes on.
I would argue, though. I don't think Seinfeld broke people. I think they had a lot of people on there before they were known.
Yeah, that were talented.
But like Bryan Cranston was broke by Malcolm in the Middle, much more so than Seinfeld. Courtney Cox obviously was broke by Friends, not by Seinfeld. So on and so forth. But I will say Seinfeld has a lot of people where you go, holy, like Patton Oswalt's on an episode of Seinfeld.
Sure.
But John Favreau's on an episode of Seinfeld.
And Friends.
Yeah, Favreau's got one of my favorite.
Favreau's Eric the Clown, right?
One of my
Isn't it
favorite,
Eric, right?
Yeah,
Eric
he's
the
my
Clown?
favorite Seinfeld.
He's sucking down equal packets.
Yeah, he's my favorite Seinfeld cameo.
Is that right?
When he goes.
That was before he was known at all.
When he goes, why are you giving me a hard time, man?
You hung
This
up on
is
some
just
clown
a
from the
gig,
60s, man.
This is just a gig. Yeah, it's so
Eric
funny.
the Clown put it out with his big shoe. That was before he was anything. Then he was on Friends, actually, after that. But I'll tell you, nothing has dug its claws into the lexicon of American pop culture the way that Seinfeld does. I'll even say go to movies, go even beyond that. I think that is on a pedestal. Even if you don't like it, it's undeniable what it did.
Disagree. It is undeniable what it did, but I would disagree. I would say the only other show that did that is Friends. Dude, the theme song was a hit song. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, when you hear that song, you get, like, emotional. It makes you think. Dude, that show, I will tell you this. I'll tell you that. You know what? Both shows have done this for me. Both shows have done this for me, honestly. But more so even in the shorter amount of time I spent with friends, I can say more so with friends. It has made me think of you and like our friendship.
Sure.
Group.
I
I
can see
like
that.
watch it, and I watch everybody hanging out in Monica's apartment, and I'm like, oh, that's like when I hang out at Sal's and we're all there. And you know what I mean? Like, honestly. Yeah.
You're like, oh, I'm like Monica when we hang out at Sal's.
I am like Monica. She's very particular. I'm a Monica.
We're two Monicas. I got news for you. I'm a Ross. I'm Ross for sure. But that's what people did a lot with that. I'm
Right.
this. I'm that. I really.
Yes.
But people do that to me, bro. People are like, I'm like you. I'm like Murr.
Who are you with Seinfeld? Because I'm a Costanza with a little Kramer sprinkled in.
Yeah, I think I'm part all of them, and that's the beauty of that one too.
That's a good point.
I'm part all of them. But I will say like with Seinfeld,
This is how much of a Monica I am.
I will say this with
The
Seinfeld.
episode-
I've seen every episode of Seinfeld. Every episode.
Yeah.
I've seen minimum 5 times. There's episodes I've probably seen 30 times.
So what is? Can I ask you a question?
My point is,
can I ask you a question?
if something is that repeatable,
Sure.
how can something be that repeatable? I get sick of hearing songs. I got sick of Too Many Lucky Charms. I get sick of shit. How can I watch the same Seinfeld episode and just smile and say the words along with it?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What is wrong in your head?
Mm-hmm.
You texted me last night.
Mm-hmm.
You just said you've seen every episode 5 times, and you're not sick of it. You texted me last night and said, "I don't know if I feel prepared to defend Seinfeld properly." How much more prepared could you possibly
I'll tell you why
be?
I said that. Okay, I have not watched Seinfeld in a while, and I used to be able to. It was like a freakish knowledge, and I just wished I could come to the table with my freakish knowledge. Now it's just like it's a deep knowledge, and then I thought of it for 1 second, and I literally the next second I was like, "Nah, what am I saying? I could do that."
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. This is how much of a Monica I am. Ready?
Yeah.
I was watching an episode recently where she can't get over that she broke up with Tom Selleck. Turn that thing off.
Yeah, I'm just worried about the prince.
Don't we got V on it. Okay. V's on it.
Okay.
This guy's not a king. He's just a prince. Okay. Let's cool our jets. I'm so excited. I can't believe I'm going to be Prince Paul today. I can't even wrap my head around this right now. Anyway.
I don't even think he knows what he's getting into. And then we were screaming at him over matzo ball or something.
We should maybe do a hip hop battle with him.
Ooh.
I know we've teased these. We can do these another time. The ones we've. Anyway, it was she can't get over that the Tom Selleck breakup, and she starts making jam.
Don't you dare start crying right now.
No, I won't. She
Okay.
starts making jam, and she's like, "This, I need something to do." And then she's like, "You know what? The jam thing, it's not working because it's going to cost me $17 a jar to break even or whatever." And I was like, that's kind of like my hoagie store, like her jam business, like my hoagie shop.
Sure.
And then she comes in the next scene and she goes, "I'm done with the jam." And she's like, "I'm gonna have a baby. I know it's not the ideal way." And everybody's like, "Have you thought of it?" And I was like, I am so Monica. This is so me talking to Sal right now about I want to buy a house in the Poconos. And he's like, "Joe, have you thought about this?"
Yeah.
Like, calm down for a
Sure,
second.
sure.
Like,
Sure.
know?
I will say she grated on me sometimes.
Cox is
yeah.
a little waspy.
Yeah.
I will say this: there's nothing whiter on planet Earth than Friends.
I don't think they had a
maybe Mumford and Sons.
Yeah, I don't think
You
they
know
had
what I mean?
well, they've caught flack for that, and but I mean, Seinfeld was all white cast too, but they did have black
Seinfeld leaned
characters.
heavy though into at least white diversity. They get into Jewish, they get into Italians.
Yeah,
you know,
they had
Greeks.
many black,
And there are black characters.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but Seinfeld, the best of all black characters on Seinfeld was Rebecca De Mornay. It's
Oh yeah,
it's amazing.
I thought you were gonna say Donna, because they did the same thing with Donna Chang. Remember Donna Chang?
Yes, Donna
Yeah.
Chang's a great one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was supposed to be like.
I think you like people thinking you're Chinese. That's a great episode. It was that Chinese woman.
She's like, "It's me, Donna Chang." But okay, with Seinfeld, I like that. I like it's not serial. I like that. I kind of like it. It's like its own things get wrapped up in the episode. I like that. They did it well, you know. When they
do-
hit that stride, when they didn't intend to, but they ended up hitting that stride where the B storyline and the A storyline come together at the end, and it didn't
Yes.
feel forced. That's what Larry does in Curb now. He's the master of it.
Yes, he is.
I mean, look, there'd be no Curb without Seinfeld.
I know that.
And Curb is probably one of my favorite shows of all time, if not
Listen,
more so than
there's
Seinfeld.
nobody on television I have ever related more to than Larry David.
Right.
I mean, ever in my life.
Right.
I know everybody feels like that, but people, and I'm telling you, I have a true relation to that character.
Right.
Like I'm just like I've seen so many things where I'm like I've done that.
Yeah.
I've
Same.
started something over this exact thing.
Same.
Whatever. But Seinfeld, they did do that for a while, and then in season 7 to me is where Seinfeld starts to taper off. I did not like that they did a whole season about George. Now the finale of the season of
That's
George getting
one
married
of the few
is
times
great.
they did it. Yeah.
Is great that she dies, that they went there. It's so crazy. It's amazing.
I mean, it's a sitcom where the main character, like literally, his wife dies.
I'll say this.
Was she his wife, Susan?
Yes.
Yes.
Was fiance.
Fiance, right. My fiance.
I'll say this though.
I've lost it. My fiance has an inner ear infection.
Yeah. I'll say this though. I think Friends does arguably edgier jokes than Seinfeld. There's Phoebe going like my mom wouldn't let me watch the end of Old Yeller because she said it was too dark. Before she killed herself. Like I'm like they make like suicide.
Well, they
jokes.
had a whole show about masturbation, but yeah, I could see that.
There's some dark jokes.
But
They joke about like abuse, like emotional abuse.
Yeah.
I love that they go in on like Monica used to be fat and they just make fun of it. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
I like that. No, they do some things right. I will. It's great. It's great. But I'll tell you another thing. There was a point in Friends where I was like almost like enough already. Like this one's dating this one and they have a past, this one's dating this one, and then they got so caught up in all of their relationships. So then it became a show about 6 people's relationships. And they were all individual and I'm like, this is more like, it's funny, they're peppering in jokes, but it's now like it's so much leaning in on the back and forth of relationships and being heartbroken and and all that stuff. And it's like, okay, but like
that's what
I'm
that
still
stage-
watching Seinfeld, and I'm just like I'm laughing. I came away from Seinfeld for the most part every episode. Just it's water cooler. It's like you talk about it, and I will say this. I know I just said this, but honestly, it's not 10 phrases. It's not 50 phrases. It's not even 100 phrases. There are phrases that exist solely because of Seinfeld, and I mean you're talking hundreds of references.
I think it's about 100.
I don't think it's 178 episodes ish. Sometimes there's a couple of them per episode.
I don't think, but you're saying public.
Come on, man hands, close talker, fucking everything you could possibly
think if you really
of.
counted it up, it's about maybe 50 at the most. That's my opinion. But
maybe references, but also just terms that be like not like new references, but just the way like there had to be a second spit or anything and everything.
I'll say this. I do not care for the fact that Joey and Rachel start to fool.
You know that?
Yeah, I told you. I know a lot of.
You didn't say that earlier.
I didn't say everything.
I didn't love that. I didn't love that.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I just said I don't care for it. But wait, here's the point I've been hoping to get to.
And after a while,
you want to talk about a powerhouse. This fucking show launched 6 people who. Like 6 award-winning people. Like that's crazy, dude. That's crazy.
Seinfeld did 4 of them. I mean, everything was on the up and up until the Laugh Factory.
I love the cast of Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Michael Richards had a hard time finding work afterwards.
Yeah.
Jason Alexander had a hard time afterwards.
Yeah, but that's because their characters were so like.
That's fine.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus, just forget about it.
Doesn't matter. Julia Louis-Dreyfus was batting 1,000 at all times. Even Seinfeld himself, like the other venture, B movie, these other things. You're like, all right, I'm not knocking them. I'm immense respect for these people. I would be honored to meet and speak with any of them, but you can't. It's no contest when it comes to Friends launch, dude. Schwimmer, like theater chops out his ass, indie film, dramatic television, Aniston, of course, movie star, Kudrow, amazing actor, The Comeback, She creates and produces television. An amazing actor. Cox with what was the MILF show she did? And Scream. Cougar Town, Scream, and all that stuff. Matthew Perry, if it wasn't for his... I feel bad for him with his addiction issues. If it wasn't for that shit getting in his way, this guy's like one of the greatest comedic actors in recent decades. LeBlanc went on, does two Last Man Stand, or not? No, I'm sorry.
He did that show on like Showtime or something like that.
He did. Joey bombed, but then he went and did the second show they created called, it's not Extras, it's called
something like
Episodes.
That. Episodes. Yeah.
And then after Episodes, he had the sitcom that was a hit, Man of the House, whatever the fuck it was called.
I don't know. Come on.
That's everybody I just named, right?
Okay.
Did I just name everybody?
Yeah.
Then you want to talk about launching talent? Giovanni Ribisi coming in.
That was a guest star. He already was who he was.
Dude, he's like 17 on this thing.
No, he's not. No, he's not, dude. He had work before that for show. For show.
I don't know.
He was probably in Boiler Room before that.
No, Boiler Room's like 2001, dude.
But you mentioned there, by the way, the theme song.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Very ubiquitous theme song. You mentioned it. I'll tell you right now. That's that whole 90s Lilith Fair type of shit. And it's fun.
Well, Lilith Fair is all women. Lilith Fair is all women.
Yeah, but it's like that and I say, what about breakfast?
So what? It was a huge hit. It was a huge hit. I mean, dude.
Hey, jealousy. I know, but that stuff, it's just so of that time.
When's the last time?
It's very 90s.
Friends could be the last, when I say this, yeah, and I think you're going to agree with me. Friends could be the last sitcom in our lifetime that had a theme song that could go onto a sitcom theme songs CD.
I haven't watched a sitcom in 20 years.
But my point is, I know the theme from King of Queens, but it's not one that everybody knows. I give you it,
but sometimes it's also like sometimes you want to go. And sometimes you hear darn and you're like, oh, fucking shut the fucking song up, please. I'll tell you this, Seinfeld. Look at what that theme song. There is no fucking theme song. The guy's slapping the bass, and that's it. Sometimes it's 5 seconds. Sometimes it's 10 seconds. It's always different. You can hit two notes, and you're like, that's Seinfeld.
Seinfeld's easier to fall asleep to because it doesn't have the theme song at the beginning of every episode. Even Curb is hard to fall asleep to because every episode of Curb, bum bum bum, like that'll. You're like, whoa, what happened? You know, if you doze off.
But Seinfeld's the only one that used their theme song in the transitions of the show as well. It's woven into the fabric of the show in a way that other shows don't do.
Friends does like little variations of the theme throughout.
Not from scene to scene for segues.
Sometimes they do, and at the end they'll put a sting on. I'm telling you, I don't know. They just
all right. Well,
Seinfeld
did it first.
They'll like sometimes take a variation of that main riff and use it like at the very end of the episode or like in between a scene or something.
You want to say that it launched those stars? Seinfeld was the first sitcom for the stars to make $1 million an episode for the 22 episodes of the season.
No, Friends wasn't it?
Seinfeld was.
Okay.
And then Friends was, I think. I'm near positive.
I don't know,
and
man.
they paved the way.
Were all
for that. You talk about them being, you know, it's always like, it's like sports. Someone has to break the ceiling, and then that's a new precedent, and then someone else. And I think Seinfeld did it, and then Friends was the second people to do it.
I know that Jennifer Aniston was getting paid the most, and then she said,
I heard they
and then
solidarity.
That's what happened. They like came all together. She's like, I'm not going to be paid the most on this, and so like everybody else, like they came together and they got like $1 million an ep.
Shout out Rachel Green.
I will say that too. By the way, I will say that, and it goes a long way for a guy like me. And it was very evident on the Friends reunion that they did on HBO. They truly seem to care about each other in real life. It seems like there's a true camaraderie there. I'm sorry, dude. I don't get that at all from Seinfeld. You watch like the Charlie Rose roundtable things with Seinfeld. They're all business. They don't seem like they're connected in any way. You watch the outtakes. Michael Richards isn't laughing. He's getting like annoyed with them.
Yeah, he was serious about that shit.
Larry David and Jerry clearly had some kind of you know what I mean?
Yes.
And so even when they come back together on
So you're saying
on
there's
Curb,
a chemistry in Friends that was more authentic.
Yes, and when they come
But
back,
Seinfeld, I mean,
and when they
had
come back
chemistry,
together
dude.
on that reunion and they're walking around the set, it's like I didn't even watch the show at that point. I was like, this is really sweet. This is really endearing. Like they love each other. Like there's a real.
but
that's a really nice thing.
But the comedic chemistry, they had it on Seinfeld. I mean, I don't give a shit if they're
they
friends
had
in
great
real life.
comedic chemistry on Seinfeld.
Yeah.
But I
When
don't
you watch
know.
Seinfeld,
Look,
it was like-
I can't knock a show for not having good off-screen relations.
Right. But
like-
that's what you were doing. You just did it, and then you said you can't do it.
I gotta pee.
So do I.
I don't know why I just said that like Trump.
I don't know.
I gotta pee. Yeah, that's
Gonna be a
first time I
good
did a
pee.
Trump.
I don't do a Trump impression. Everyone does a Trump impression.
It looks like such fun to do.
I know. I don't know how to do it.
It does look really fun.
I don't know how to. I don't do impressions. Do you do any impressions? Any at all? Even close? Anything at all? Anything?
Yeah, I have a Tom Hanks. I've done it on here, haven't I?
I don't know. I don't recall.
I used to do Tom Hanks. I used to do a thing in my act. I would do voiceless impressions. It was just like
Sure.
body language, like mannerism impressions.
Sure.
So Tom Hanks was one.
Oh, so you don't? Okay, so go ahead.
Yeah, I would do Tom Hanks angrily agreeing with somebody.
Okay.
Yeah. So he go, you have to say ask a question that somebody would ask a Tom Hanks character in a movie.
Okay.
Like think of a plot line. Go. So you mean to tell me? You know.
Right. Think of a movie. It has to be a comedy then. Okay, ready? I'm sorry to tell you, but this house is basically a money pit.
He used to do that like in every movie.
I think I've seen him
He
do
would
that.
get like furious. Does it in it's the Burbs.
Did
he
it get
does
a
the
laugh?
version. Yeah, it always people
Really?
always got it.
Yeah.
I did Clooney. I forget how I did. I'd be like, there was always the part in the argument where he's like coming onto the woman, but he's intimidating her.
Yeah.
He'd be like,
Okay.
you
All
could
right.
do that.
All right.
I did Michael J. Fox and Teen Wolf walking down the hallway.
How did you do that one? The one when he's
You
like
won't
cool?
get it on. You won't
when he is Teen Wolf.
No. It was
Okay.
this. You won't get this on camera, but it was. I forget the. I wish you could remember the Clooney. What the setup? Because the Clooney always got a laugh, which surprised me. But I can't remember what the setup for it was. All right, ready?
Maybe another time.
This was the Michael J. Fox. What is this?
Wow.
But he
Okay.
used to do that.
Okay.
That was like his.
I saw him in that. I saw him in you just now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Guy. I told you I had lunch with him.
Yes.
What a
Q-
what a surreal lunch that was.
Yeah. Q told me like the story in depth over a lunch that we were
Awesome
having.
guy. Yeah.
And I said, I hope that you now go back to Michael J. Fox and tell him about this lunch.
Yeah. To think just to think that I don't know. He's an icon, man. To think I sat down and had lunch with
Yeah,
that
it's
guy.
amazing.
Few hours, went back to his office, hung
Talk
out.
about sitcoms
Nicest
launching
guy.
careers.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to. I gotta pee. Let's get
I had to pee, and I've had to pee for the whole time, and so I think that might have clouded because I have a lot more to say about Seinfeld.
I could keep going on this.
Yeah.
But let's just get the vote, pimp.
What were the best supporting characters?
V, you're killing me. I gotta pee.
Oh, sorry.
I mean,
Yeah.
you can throw any celebrity you want at me from Friends as far as a good support. You mean like an
characters.
but like not like a regular.
Like George Costanza's
From regular to
dad.
semi-regular
supporting?
to semi-regular to one-offs. Seinfeld. I don't care that you bring on Brad Pitt, Paul Rudd, whoever you. Seinfeld did it without people being stars. They did it from the writing and from the characters. And that's another thing. What other sitcom can you name that everyone can name every single one-off character?
Friends.
One-off character? I'm not
Friends.
talking about the guy from the fucking coffee shop.
I'm not
I'm
either.
talking about
Friends.
one-offs, bro.
David Arquette. You know.
David Arquette was recurring.
No, he wasn't. He's in one episode as. Oh my God, I forgot that too. The awesome connection to
David
Mad
Arquette
About
is
You, where they
famous.
get Phoebe to be twins with the waitress
was
she
fun.
played on Mad About. Anyway, everybody can name the one-off character. That's not true.
No.
That's not true.
You have to name. You just named the celebrity David Arquette, but I'm saying, the soup Nazi. Like these types of characters are iconic and they're one-episode characters. Are you kidding me?
Well, I
You
can't.
just named it before, Donna Chang.
I can't. Well, but hold on.
Everybody, everyone. You could think everyone.
It's an unfair argument.
Not even Uncle Leo. I'm talking about
Hold
the
on.
one-offs.
It's an unfair argument. Here's why.
Why?
It's not. It's
But
not,
the nature of Seinfeld's
it's not
show.
something.
It's the same reason that you said you had the benefit of having emotions attached
I'm
to
telling
yours.
you. All right.
I get the
I'm
benefit
gonna
of a
say
lot of characters.
Okay, I'm going to say something.
Oh, I'm getting a little more.
It's an uneven argument because Friends, given the nature of the show, called for recurring characters. Seinfeld called for one-off characters.
Sure, but that is the nature of the show, and that's one of its that's one of its cool things.
Sure, I could also say, well, Friends was better at bringing in a recurring guy over 3 episodes for an arc that was really interesting. You know, what's his face that plays the crazy roommate that Chandler gets is so awesome. The indie actor, the kid that was in Saving Private Ryan. No, the kid from the plays the crazy roommate.
But you could honestly, if I sat down and had some time, I could make a list of, 100 characters that were famous.
What show had better jokes?
Adam Goldberg.
What show had better jokes to you? Made you actually laugh out loud more?
I got to tell you, I think pound for pound, Friends has better jokes. I think Seinfeld, as you form a relationship with the show, it becomes funny.
What is that?
It becomes funny in its own way because you need to be familiar with the show. But there is a lot of stuff on Seinfeld where you're like, they're resting on your fandom right now.
That's later. I was going to say the opposite.
There is stuff on paper that's not even close to a joke that they plug a laugh into, and you go, because of it, there's a rhythm to Seinfeld, there's a familiarity that works, and it makes me laugh.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a Seinfeld-ism thing. It's not a joke. Wow. Friends has like jokes where I'm like, holy shit, man. Like that's a setup.
Yeah,
punch.
but you're writing, the jokes are different. I mean, you're writing 2 different types of jokes, and I think both of them did their own thing well. But I don't think you can compare that they're better than Seinfeld's because
I'm
that's
just
a
saying
silly
if you're
argument.
talking jokes, I think Friends.
Friends is situationally like Friends has like more natural speaking dialogue type of jokes, but Seinfeld has way more like punchlines and way more like nuance and just situationally funny things.
I think I don't know if I agree with that, but that's interesting.
Well, think about this, right? For Seinfeld, you could say that the premise of an episode was funny a lot of times. And that's without hearing a joke. You could be like, oh my God, that was so funny. When they got lost in the parking garage. Oh my God, when they made the bet about masturbation. Oh my God, when, whatever.
Well, yeah, they're coming at it from a different angle. I mean,
but think of it like stand-up, right? Even the premises were funny. Oh my God, he left a message on the machine. He wants to get back. Oh my God, he pees in the shower.
That's
oh
like
my
saying,
God,
but
George talks to the third person.
That to me though is like saying, well then,
you're not like, oh my God,
I could argue that
Phoebe
Emo Phillips
got a job at the bakery and then she started dating Joe. It's like,
but my point is I could argue that Emo Phillips has, by the sound of it, funnier premises than Big J. But I don't think that makes Emo a better comic than Jay. Jay talks about more real life things I can relate to. You know what I mean? So like that doesn't make the premise.
Well, you said that their jokes were better. And I'm just saying that, like,
I would say that Big J's jokes are better than Emo Phillips's.
Are you
Without
saying,
disrespect
are you
to Emo
saying
Phillips.
Big J is Friends in this scenario? Okay. I actually
relatable. A lot of sex material.
But I will say though, think about another sitcom where you could be like, oh, people are latching on to the idea of people name episodes by the premise. You have to.
What are you? You're stepping in the wrong territory with Friends. The episodes are literally called The One With.
Sure.
That's every episode.
Sure. But a lot of times you can't go into the Rolodex. I mean, you can say something like, oh, the Thanksgiving football game, or like the time they went on the dance party show, which you didn't see.
I don't agree with that.
Seinfeld is more like, I'm telling you, man. It's like, oh, she wore the same outfit. It's like it's just people related to Seinfeld. In a weird way, even though Friends is more based in reality and not this own universe, Seinfeld created a universe that was, I think, even more relatable than Friends. I think because it was about behavioral. Yeah, but it wasn't just the same old thing. Like, oh, I'm dating her. But if I got a promotion.
But hold on, I don't think Friends is the same old thing. I think Friends has a different goal than Seinfeld. It was going the log line for the show is it's about the time of your life when your friends are family. It's just a different show. You could argue all day long, of course, that Seinfeld is a little more offbeat, a little more original, because I can't argue any of that, of course.
It's certainly a more original
but it's
show.
Not
That's a
more
big one.
relatable. It's not more relatable.
How is it not more relatable if people literally describe themselves in Seinfeld characters? People have conversations using Seinfeld speak.
Because people
literally have monikers.
That's not what relatable is.
Sure, it is.
Quoting something because you think it's funny is not relatable.
That's not true, though. They deal in behavioral nuance, and that is relatable to every single person. Watched someone not wash their hands after they pissed. Every single person got cut in line at the whatever, and they dig into that, and not just like, oh, I love him,
all right,
and I'm an artist.
Every single person dated somebody multiple times and dumped them multiple times. Every single person was in love with a friend of theirs that they couldn't be with. Every single person tried dating a friend and then it didn't work out.
But this is so much more original Seinfeld.
It
is. It's a universe in and of itself.
Yes. I'm not saying it's not a more original take on a sitcom. That was the whole point of Seinfeld. Was we're going to do an un-sitcom or whatever you want to call it. I get that.
You know, Sunny is based on Seinfeld.
Yes.
They've come right out and said that.
Yes, but
they use the Seinfeld rules. No redeeming qualities. Nothing. No one falls in love. They're all out for themselves.
I love Sunny. They've started to betray that stuff. But my point is.
I mean, Dennis is a full-blown sociopath now. It's like,
I love the show, but it's like, come on, they did it. They ended an episode with a full interpretive dance, and it wasn't a joke.
Yeah.
I was like,
but I mean, I like that they did that. I thought it was pretty. You want to talk about Friends being sometimes sobering or emotional.
If Seinfeld had done something, I'm not there for that. That's not what I'm watching this show for. I hated again on the Seinfeld finale, the moment with Elaine and him on the plane. I hated that the lead into that played that fucking Green Day song where they showed clips and you were supposed to get all misty about it. I was like, this is Seinfeld. That's not what this is. That's not what I'm here for.
No, I disagree, man. I think it's.
You just said that's what you liked about it, was that it's not that.
You said you didn't like that they reflected and played the song about all the moments, and I disagree. I watched Seinfeld through and through, and that last thing was like watching the Super Bowl. It was so nostalgic.
No.
It brought all the characters back.
No, you're not. You're talking about
on the highlight reel.
You're talking. I don't like that they played the Time of My Life Green Day song and tried to get you emotional.
But it worked.
But it's not. It's Seinfeld. It's not supposed to do that.
But in the moment, it worked.
I don't want to see.
So what? So they're going out and they never did it. And finally, they're just like, they give you a little kiss
I don't want to
goodbye.
see the Green Day song on Seinfeld. I don't want to see an interpretive dance on It's Always Sunny. I'm sorry.
I will tell you, I hate that Green Day song more than I hate the Friends theme song.
And just like, and by the way, just like on Friends, if they brought in like a Kramer, I'd be like, this is stupid. Like, this doesn't fit into this thing. You know what I mean? Like, there's things that both shows do very, very well.
I mean, you want to take, Phoebe she's offbeat, but like really they have, characteristics like Monica's type A, Ross is, type A, whatever you want to call. But like to create a character like Kramer.
But hold on,
I'm just saying, as far as the characters go, like everyone loves the Friends people, but they are just.
They're not just. Stop it, dude.
They are
complete.
They have very normal characteristics. I'm saying Seinfeld created.
I think it's I think it's a lot harder to pull that off than you're giving it credit for. I've watched a lot of sitcoms, and I've written for a pretty good amount of TV shows at this point. That is such a hard thing to do within the confines of a 22-minute script.
What?
Create real characters. It's not like, oh, Monica is just this. That becomes paper thin so quickly.
Yeah, but you're saying real characters, and I'm saying unique, original, one-of-a-kind characters. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I think Kramer, I think...
If you think of sitcoms, the history of sitcoms, and you have to have a bracket tournament of the quirkiest, craziest, or characters, like Kramer's going in there. Monica's not.
I think Phoebe gives Kramer a run for her money. You know who's not going in there? Jerry, Elaine. I mean, it doesn't get any more like regular old sitcom-y than those two characters. They're great. They're fucking great because the two actors portraying them are great. But it's the same thing. George Costanza, you could compare to a million sitcom characters that came before him. Oh, he's the hothead that yells all the time and freaks out about nothing. And da-da-da.
I don't know if
I saw it with Archie Bunker. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you. It doesn't matter. I think on either of these shows to try to reduce the characters to do, it's just X, Y, and Z. On paper, you could say Kramer. Dude, Kramer on paper is just a zany neighbor. On paper, it's almost cringy. It's what Michael Richards does with it that makes it great.
Sure.
So I'm just countering the argument of the Friends character. It's like on paper, Chandler is annoying. He's the quippy guy. Matthew Perry, they talk about it in the reunion special, like how hard it was to cast that show because they talked about it with like Jennifer Aniston. They're like, Rachel is not likable. She's not a likable person. So we had to get somebody that could make her like. That stuff is a lot more complicated than I think people give it credit for.
All right, let's go to
get
the fucking
vote.
phones because we got to do.
I got to pee so bad.
I got to pee so bad.
All right, let's get the vote.
Listen,
Tim. What's the final vote?
Humble Pie episode.
Humble Pie,
Roll it out with
final
some
vote.
percentages.
All right.
This is going to be how many votes?
10,000.
That's it so far. I thought people would jump on that because of the nature of it. 10,000 in an hour is not bad.
All right. The winner with 56%.
Ooh, that's close, bro.
Very close.
That's very close.
Seinfeld.
56% though.
That's
That is
close.
that is very close.
That's very close. We knew it would be close. Great.
Wow, that was very close.
Yep. You still.
I
love
don't
me.
think anyone would. I still love you.
I love you too.
All right.
Taste buds, they coming to the mic, talking about the food they hate, talking about the food they like. Two fools gonna fight, but only one food can be right. Taste buds, man, yeah, they coming to the mic.